Imaginarium, a convention that celebrates all genres of creative writing and storytelling. Offering great opportunities for networking, mentoring, learning, professional development, and much more. It was founded to be a convention for creatives and those who embrace and journey along the road of imagination. I was honored to be a guest at the 2023 10th anniversary celebration in Louisville, Kentucky. Myself, and so
Absolutely.
like I said, when I got the footage swooping around, and I may put music and some narration over it and then dissolve into what we're doing.
Excellent.
And so as you saw, we are at Imaginarium, and this is, what are you, Mr. Imaginarium?
I don't know.
I don't know. But
Something like that.
Steven Zimmer, and this is
Instigator.
great because I have actually, I've wanted to sit down and do this interview for some time, and just are now getting to make it work out. So I got to track you down up here in the
conference room. Yes.
The conference room.
One of
And
the quieter spaces. Yes.
yes, that's absolutely great. And it's just fun because I didn't even know there was an up here. I mean, I kind of realized there was, but I didn't realize what it was. What was up here?
The secret room. Yes.
Yeah. So the most obvious question, I guess, and I remember, is we are here. This is actually the 10th anniversary.
10 years.
10 years of a convention. Now, that's actually a long time for a convention to last.
Not bad.
I've seen them come and go.
Yeah.
And so I do remember the first year.
Oh, yes.
I wasn't able to be here, but I remember that you were promoting it. So why Imaginarium? What made you decide to do that?
I wanted to see the convention that I would like to attend, and the main motivation for it is that I wanted to have a convention that had all of the great programming of a major national writing conference or major film festival or something like that, and have it in an environment where people were relaxed and the atmosphere was like a convention, where it's people can more accessible, people feel like they can approach people easier, just more comfortable. And I wanted to kind of make a hybrid event that combined those two things, and that's basically what started Imaginarium.
Okay, so I guess what I'm saying, so you had some that were more convention-esque and other things that were more like film festival type thing, is what you're saying?
Yeah, as far as like what was out there, things,
Okay.
but I wanted to kind of bring it all together under one umbrella, something that was comprehensive when it came to writing, that would bring in fiction writers, nonfiction writers, poets, screenwriters, song lyric writers, game development writers, all the different spheres of writing, and put it in an environment that's accessible, where the person that's new, or like say the author that's just been published, will be just as comfortable as the person that's like the New York Times bestseller.
Oh, okay.
And the interactivity between them is comfortable, and that was the main goal I had, just have that kind of environment.
Okay, so when you first started out, what did it look like?
Well, when you're getting into something, you don't always know what you're getting into.
Right. So that's the stories I want.
So, I mean, it's definitely a complex thing, even from the beginning. I mean, it's much larger now than it was then.
Right.
But you can't plan for things. For instance, on the first day of the first Imaginarium, we had a fire alarm on the hour it opened. So
oh my gosh.
There's things you just can't plan for.
Well, obviously, yeah.
But you have so many moving parts because you have panelists and guests, and you have all this programming like panels and workshops to schedule them in. You have a film festival, and that involves scheduling and a submission period and judging and committees, and so I mean each sector of everything has so many moving parts, and so finding it's an art at finding the right people to work with. And over time, you get better at that, and you start to develop a group that is cohesive, that has chemistry. So year to year, just you make adjustments and just keep getting better with that type of thing. But yeah, even now, I mean, we're looking at things to improve for next year. So yeah, it's a constant process.
Now, what year in did you feel like this is? I want to say this is it, but I know you're improving, but that you felt like things had fallen into place. And maybe that's a way of putting it.
I really felt that when we came here to our current home at the Holiday Inn Louisville East. And that was unfortunately, the COVID year, we had to do an entire virtual event. And we pulled it off. That was not easy because we had to do the entire thing online. But the next year, 2021 is...
And that's the one I made it to.
2021 is the one where I felt like, okay, now it's really settling into its groove.
Okay.
And you could feel like the system was finally starting, the gears were finally working a little better, and there's always things unplanned for, and certainly with guests, you always have emergencies with people at the last minute, and they have to cancel, and then you have substitutes that have to come in late, and so there's always things going on, but that year it felt like the gears finally started really kind of working right.
Okay, so. Was there a moment when you were like, oh my, it's been 10 years?
Last night.
Oh.
Yeah, last night. Because we were at the awards ceremony, and I was like looking out at everybody and seeing somebody like Terry Brooks, legendary fantasy author, sitting there, and seeing all the the filmmakers and everything, and many of them very very established, and looking around that room, and it's just like, wow, it's been 10 years.
Now, is that
here we are.
Yeah, because you say it's kind of, wow, it's been 10 years. Is it that, or is it, wow, it's been 10 years? I mean, there's a combination of both of those.
Yeah, it's kind of you have a respect for it over the 10-year period. I mean, it's like a real milestone, and it's reflective. That's the right word. You feel very reflective on it, and at the same time, it's kind of exciting that you did pull off 10 years and you're still standing.
So and you apparently have a lot of interest, because what I was overwhelmed by, I will say this, I couldn't believe how many tables were set up. Yeah. Just based on 2 years ago, it was like I walked in and there's tables practically in the lobby.
Yeah, the Creatives Alley. Yes, it's taken over.
But and then down the little halls and everything, I'm like,
it's comprehensive now.
Definitely overwhelming. Now, do you think it was that large because it's the anniversary one, or is this look more like it did last year?
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than last year. We definitely have grown since last year, but last year hit the point where it had that feeling, that atmosphere that you're talking about, where everything felt really live, and there were enough people in the Creatives Alley where the whole thing feels like an atmosphere, no matter where you go in this venue.
Oh, okay. So it's interesting, because to find out, in the middle of all the activity, you're up here having a meeting and everything. So are these still covering things going on for this one, or are you already looking at next year?
Oh, we were just having a meeting for next year, now. I mean, it's constant. It's a year-round job. I mean, it is now.
And I think a lot of people don't realize how much work goes into it. I mean, I stage events, they're a lot smaller, but I think a lot of work goes into them, and you're promoting, and you're doing whatever it is you need to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just incredible. Now I do, maybe going back a bit, because people might wonder, where did the name Imaginarium come from?
Comes from just the fact that with creatives, I mean, it's like our slogan, your imagination is the foundation. That's where everything flows from, and it's the creative spirit. It's everything comes from within, and so the Imaginarium is just the idea that this is a place where that can flourish. You know, that spirit, that kind of vibe, that kind of essence. You know, the Imaginarium, where your imagination is the foundation.
Okay. So if there was anything else you wanted to add for people who are watching, is there any? I mean,
I always invite people to come and give us a try if you haven't been here yet, because we have a very unique atmosphere. It's not like a lot of the more stuffy conferences. You know, this is a very one that's very accessible. It's one where you really can network. You really can meet the people you want to meet and actually talk to them.
Yeah,
it's
and
not,
I think
it's, there aren't barriers here.
Okay.
And the inclusivity here and the welcoming atmosphere is just wonderful. I mean, we got people from every walk of life and background and perspective, and it's comfortable and non-contentious. I mean, people really get along. I mean, that's one of the things I hear constantly is the vibe is positive. And when they come out of this weekend, I've heard it time and time again, just the energy and the uplift. And they feel like they often use the metaphor of a battery being recharged after this weekend.
Yeah, I just actually, it rang with me when you were talking about you get to meet everybody, and you know there's nobody, because I do finally like, oh yeah, because there's a lot of conventions and conferences where you come in and if you want to meet certain people it's a different room and you have to buy a different badge.
Correct.
And so that finally resonated. It's like, okay, I get that now.
Oh yeah. They're very sectored off, and
you know, and there's all these levels of things, and it's like one size fits all. You come in, everybody, you know, all right.
A big creative family reunion. That's what it is.
Okay. Yeah, and actually for me, and I haven't seen you since 2021, or
I know.
It's been a while.
But it is great to see you again.
Yeah, and thank you for sitting down with me. And I've been enjoying myself, and so I will have the information about Imaginarium in the description. And I do hope to see you again.
Yes,
we'll see
absolutely.
If it works
we
out.
will.
Yeah.
We will.
Okay, it works out. And I will see you next time, wherever.